Hello, everyone. Good morning and welcome to Engelgeist. For those of you that are new, welcome. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. For those of you that support me over on Patreon, thank you so very much for your support. I greatly appreciate it. This is a all signs collective reading, so it's available to everyone who watches it when you watch it. But it is originally created for the 9th of May, which is Monday. But it's not set for that date. So if you're watching this on a different date, it might be time for you to see the message rather than be caught up in the date. So there is flexibility around that. For those of you that regularly watch, this just coincides with the week that we're on and the underpinning energy that we just looked at in yesterday's reading, which was very exciting. For those of you that want to understand that reading, because you'll hear me reference back to those cards, because that's sort of like the underlying energy of what's going on. That video populates in the lower left-hand corner at the end of this video. I include a link to that video there. So you can always refer to that. And you can also refer to that weekly, just so you know, and see if that weekly, even if you're out of date, right? Like if you're not on May 9th, but you're watching May 9th and you're going, okay, why is he referencing these cards? You can still check out the weekly, even if you're 2 years from now. And if the weekly still makes sense to you and what's going on, more power to you. I do believe that there's a synchronicity in the universe that finds us when we're seeking it, right? And so allow that to be. You can utilize any of my readings at any time. If they make sense to you, please allow them to support you and validate you in what you're already feeling or knowing. Don't necessarily allow them to make the decisions for you, though. I'm not here to take away anybody's free will. I'm not here to make decisions for folks. I'm just here to kind of tell you what's going on around you and what you can access to either improve your situation or what you need to be aware of so that your situation doesn't necessarily, get worse, let's say. So let's see what's going on with these cards. The weekly this week was quite exciting. That's also part of the reason why I say if you're watching this out of date, if you need to reference the weekly, some of you could be in that weekly energy that we saw at a different point in time, and it would be important to validate that for you because it just felt like a really good week reading. All right. Other things you can do, please check out the drop-down menu underneath the video of any of my dailies. In there is just some house rules, how to find me on social media, to follow me, things you can do to support the channel, which I greatly appreciate, and I'm going to just run them down right now. Please hit that thumbs up button. Leave me a question or a comment, especially if you're new. I love to see new people question and comment. I will respond just to let me know you're here and you're viewing. I know I don't have a ton of viewers, but that's okay. Please share out. I do value the people that do view. Please share out the videos if you enjoy them, either on your social medias or in groups that you belong to where you think that they would be best utilized and people would enjoy them. Don't necessarily put them anywhere where it would create controversy. I know that there's a lot of Facebook groups out there that get upset when you post free readings. So don't do that to risk yourself getting in any sort of trouble. Beyond that, if this does not resonate with you today, whenever you're watching it at any given time, don't worry. It doesn't mean anything's wrong, guys. It just might mean that you're working on something different. You're not doing anything wrong. You're exactly where you need to be. Remember that. What else was I going to say? Oh, the last thing and most important, please subscribe to the channel. If you like my content, subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you get notified when when new content comes out, which I do a video every day. And when I start going back to doing lives, which I need to get my butt in gear around that, but I just haven't gotten it together. So I need to start gearing myself towards doing that at least maybe once a week. So let's get into these cards and see what's going on for us this week. What they want us to know, to be aware of Monday's energy. Okay. Oh, wow. Interesting. So we have the Knave of Wands. He's the Page of Wands, essentially, right? He's kind of hot in his little Gustav Klimt off the shoulder asymmetrical number. I'm feeling it. Anyways, the pages are always sort of like learning to me, youthfulness, right? They represent the youth in the court cards, right? To me, this is about, remember, like in yesterday's reading in the weekly, we had the Queen of Wands as the lead card for the first few days. So I like that the Page of Wands shows up here because it's within that fire energy, right? So we've got fire on fire in a way, right? And where she's underpinning everything. Some of us might be in this page state where we're, or this knave state, trying to learn how to embrace ourselves like the Queen of Wands would. Queen of Wands is not only centered around spirit because she's Wands energy, but she's also centered around emotions because she's the queen, right? So she owns her stuff from a very real rich place. Like, she don't give a shit, is my feeling with the Queen of Wands. You know, some of the other queens might be a little bit more I don't I don't want to call the Queen of Wands selfish, but I feel like she's selfish in a good way, if that makes any sense. Like, she puts herself first. She's not going to be one that minces her words, that kind of a thing. Oftentimes we're taught not to do that, right? Oftentimes we're taught like that's inappropriate, or this is wrong, or whatever. And I don't think that the Queen of Wands does it for any wrong types of reasons. She just does it because she embraces who she is in her totality, in her, you know, especially in like her sensuality, her sexuality, her femininity, her intelligence, her desire, all of that stuff she does not negate, right? And so with the knave here, it's about kind of learning a little bit about that, growing into that, stepping into that, right? Exploring what it is we desire, getting comfortable with like sitting in it, and maybe growing from the knave into the queen, right? This is like the door opening this week, or as we begin to question and learn more about who we are, what we want, how we want it, and that we deserve it, right? That's kind of the feeling that I'm getting, or what the message is with her underpinning him today. It's like there's a deeper part of our soul, i.e. the queen, that is kind of pushing the knave up from within us to sort of explore these things, right? And in turn, the knave also, in his little like sort of masculineness, as much as knaves can be both masculine or feminine, but this being depicted by this man in this sort of dress, I love it because he sort of feels both masculine and feminine, and he feels like he's in support of that queen, right? So this energy of us questioning, looking deeper, exploring our desire, exploring our spirit. What is it that we want? What is it that we need today? What is it that we, you know, maybe, and I'm not saying we need to reveal our secrets, because the Queen of Wands can be a little bit about secrets in a way. She's sort of connected to her own intuition in a very different kind of way than the other queens, I feel like. But like getting to know our secrets, our desires, and being in acceptance of them, and then like contemplating the actual creation of them or giving of them to ourselves is important this week, just from the weekly reading that I was from yesterday. So check it out if you haven't watched it. This knaves sometimes bring messages with them, you know, like, or new learnings. There's an exuberance and an energy to them that I feel like is higher than some of the other court cards, right? Because they're sort of excitable. They're experiencing things maybe for the first time, or learning as they go, living in the moment. They're definitely, I don't know if educable is even a word, but I feel like I want to say that. If it isn't, I shall make it a word. They're educatable. Maybe that's the correct way to say it. Educable. Oh my God. I need more coffee. But there's this openness to the knaves, right? Where they want to be taught. They want to soak it in. There's a little sponginess to them. And this, to me, him being the knave of wands, there's not only do you have that teachability, right? But you have that excitement, that crackling fire underneath it, that we should feel really positive. We should feel really open to explore our own desires, our own spiritual wants and needs, right? And embrace them, and not like with that queen underneath this. It's like, I want to say this knave is teaching us how to not be ashamed of what it is that we want, and then maybe at some point we're going to ask for it. Does that make sense? Not from necessarily anybody else per se. I'm not saying, I get this sense, and I'm just going to throw this out there. I get the sense that there's like, maybe there's a secret desire within us, right? That's this knave and this queen working together. We want something, and we're not necessarily sure that we want to. We're trying to figure out how to bring it up from within us, is the feeling that I'm getting. And as we bring that up, the midweek card was the King of Pentacles, right? And he's going to ground that for us, and he's going to make that a reality, right? He's the provider in that way. He's going to teach us how to take actionable steps towards making that desire very real and palpable in our life. But what I mean by this is this, like, I don't know why I mean this whole sense of secret desire or internal desire. These cards, these Queen and this Knave, feel very internal to me. It's about us finding that acceptance within ourselves of what we want and then going about getting it this week, right? We don't necessarily have to put it all out there on the table for everybody to see. That's not what I'm getting from this, but we have to honor it within ourselves. Does that make sense? So we have to acknowledge it and honor it, and then be willing to learn from it, gain acceptance around it, and begin to move towards it, right? Whether we're doing that on a private, personal level or on a public level, that's fine too. We can. It's neither here nor there, as long as we're like going after it. To me, the Knave feels like we are getting comfortable with the idea that actually, indeed, we are the Queen. We are that bitch. You know what I'm saying? We are deserving of what it is that we desire emotionally and spiritually. And now it's about learning how to get ourselves there, owning that, right? So I love that. Now, let's see. When I said owning that, I looked at the clock and it was 11:22 on the video. Kind of cool, master numbers. So let's see what's going on in the Sacred Traveler Oracle cards. And remember, too, that the word, the grounding stone for this week is believe. And the Knave maybe needs to be educated a little bit or open-minded enough. There's an open-mindedness with Knaves, too, that's good. We need to be open-minded enough to believe that we can be that Queen of Wands, King of Pentacles combination that we'll experience this week. It allows us to harness and move towards our desires, right? All right. Ooh, let's get it. Breaking trail. A breakthrough is at hand. Now, it's interesting because this guy looks like a young farmhand, and the Knaves oftentimes are sort of similar in nature. They serve the knights, right? They learn from the knights. They're like knights in training in my way. So this looks like a little page guy kind of doing his work, and a breakthrough is at hand. I feel like this breakthrough is us owning this desire or this want. Now, each one of you is going to have a different desire going on within you, but whatever it is, it's pushing you. It's like something we feel from the stomach or from the heart, but it's something that we want, that we know that if we connect to it, it will, like, I almost want to say light us on fire. It's kind of interesting too, because this crop here looks a little bit like fire to me. You know, even though it's supposed to be tall grain that he's breaking through and creating the trail as he goes. And that's also the newness that we would experience with this Knave, right? Is as we're in the moment doing the work, learning and opening ourselves and being educated in what we can and cannot achieve, we're moving forward. We're there's something. And two, I will say this, at the end of the week, we have that, it was the Ace of Pentacles, meaning new journeys, new endeavors that are going to bring back material gifts to us that were maybe unexpected. And so breaking trail is perfect for the beginning of the week. We need to get out there and get on it, guys. We need to believe, like the grounding stone says, in ourselves, in the trail, in our purpose, in our desire, in our deserving of that desire, right? The Queen, she does believe. You don't need to convince her. She'll tell you. She'll be like, I need that. That's mine. Get out of my way. You know? Like, that's kind of the Wands suit in general. Like, they just like, the King of Wands is, I'll take it. I see it. I'll take it. It's mine. You know? And the Queen is no different. She's even, I swear to God, this is another thing that I didn't connect with yesterday. I was thinking about the reading, this morning as I watched it with you guys when it went live. And, that fox that was on the card, what was it called? Wandering Path, right? We have path and trail happening here too, which means new beginnings also to me. But in the Oracle cards. But what I was going to say is, a fox is red in color, and a fox is also very cunning. So is the Queen of Wands. And so she's smart like that. Like, She's thinking outside the box. She's not giving a shit about what other people say or what naysayers may say or limitations. She doesn't concern herself with those things. She's like, no, I'm about moving forward, bitch. Like, unabashedly in a good way, you know? Like, I sometimes, me as an empath, I kind of tend to cater to others a little bit more than I should, and I let them into my space or into my heart or into my life, and then oftentimes they take advantage. And the Queen of Wands is kind of like the antithesis of that. She'll let people in. She's warm and loving, but she's also not going to, forego her own needs for someone else. Does that make sense? The Knave is about learning how to rise up into that and how to be acceptable in that and be like, okay, I can do this. Like, that's my feeling. And Breaking Trail is about this breakthrough is at hand, right? We're moving into this, maybe placing ourselves first and our needs first before the needs of others. And we might have been doing that for a while. Does that make sense? Let me read Breaking Trail to you. Breaking Trail, a breakthrough is at hand. You are at the beginning of a breakthrough. Everything you've been doing for the past few years has been a preparation for what's ahead. Oh my God, the dogs are really tearing things up. There are instances when the path isn't clear ahead. And in those moments, sometimes you need to break trail. In your life, it may seem that the path disappears. However, the only way to reach your destination is to push through. Keep going. Do things in a new way. Imagine a woman giving birth. It's hard, but through her great effort, a baby comes into being. Something new and exciting is coming into your life. Guys, this is that Ace of Pentacles energy at the end of the week. And this is also the Knave believing and keeping that open mind and just being in the present moment and learning as we go. The Sacred Traveler wants you to know it's not about following the path ahead, but creating your own trail. It's time to stop standing on the edge of life and just take a leap. Your patience is going to pay off. Old limitations and inner blockages are dropping away. Don't let fear keep you from moving forward. This is really the time to allow yourself to experience the fear, but do it anyway. Something for which you've waited a long time is about to come to fruition. Don't be afraid to jump in with both feet. Your efforts will help create a trail for others. So beautiful, exciting, challenging, maybe a little unnerving because it's something that we want, right? Sometimes when we want things really bad, we get a little bit worried or fearful of failure of it, so we don't even attempt. Don't let that get in your way, guys. Do not let that get in your way. Okay, here is the grounding stone, just a principle to ground in today as you move through this day with this Knave's energy and the idea of breaking trail and breakthroughs coming in. The word is strength. I love this because I think that there's a strength in the Queen of Wands. I also think that there's a strength in breaking trail and creating a new path, right? And allowing ourselves to move towards that, believing in ourselves, strengthening that belief in ourselves, believing within our own strength, mental strength, emotional strength, spiritual strength, all of it. Harbor it, feed it, grow it, be in it today as you make this shift, as you shift trail or move towards the breakthrough. Let it happen, embrace it, and understand that any changes that are shifting for you, you can handle and you're strong enough to move and synchronize with. Okay, does that make sense? Like pivot towards and just be strong within that pivot. All right, that is your reading for the day. If you liked it, please share it out, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel. I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow to see how this energy builds. It's going to be an amazing week. I have a feeling. All right, thank you all for all of those of you that tune in, and I look forward to seeing you guys later. Have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.